Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Greg the Guy.
My name is Casey. Casey?
I didn't hear you. I thought you said K. I
No.
was like, oh, all right.
Mr. K.
Now we're super abbreviating everything.
Agent K.
Agent K.
Shout
out Men in Black. Anyway, for your viewing pleasure here this week, we will be presenting episode 22 of the Bangcast. So, as far as what we're going to talk about this week, you sent me a video the other day, which, first of all, I found hilarious. I couldn't stop watching it. I could stop watching it.
It was a train wreck. You just get to some places.
Okay. It was called Barbie Jeep Racing?
Yeah, Barbie Jeep Racing
or something like that. Basically, these people,
rednecks.
Right? Yeah, you call them that. They basically strip the batteries and I guess whatever the drive thing or power unit is out of these like big wheels.
Yeah.
And they were just riding them down a hill. And I'm telling you, 95 out of 100 times, it probably did not end well. It was entertaining. I won't lie. It
Yes.
was. It has been a while since I've laughed that hard. I would almost say. The other thing that I thought was cool was they had like a topless like foot race with some women running back up the hill. For I guess they're like halftime show, or if that's what you want to call it.
I'll be honest. I didn't make it that far into the video because I was like flipping through different ones, so I didn't actually see the topless foot race or whatever.
Yeah, I think whoever won that got like a $5,000 cash prize.
Hey,
So I don't know if this is actually like a huge thing and we're just now finding out about it or what.
there is a lot of videos on them. I can tell you that because like I said, I was flipping through them back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, and now the only thing that I have on, like I guess the recommended videos next to
Your
the
feed.
thing, my feed, you could say, is these Barbie racing videos, and I only watched that one video.
Right.
Just one video.
You're not tempted to watch the rest of them?
I am, but and this goes into what we're gonna talk about here. This particularly, because I am totally tempted to watch the rest of those videos, is times that we have went down a like a YouTube or another video service kind of rabbit hole, whether it be the same particular type of content, or if you start off, and this is kind of where I can actually, add value on this, is when you start looking for something, but you wind up with watching something not totally different, but
Right.
down a different path, I would venture to say.
It's definitely YouTube's algorithm is trying to decide what you want to watch next,
Yeah.
and that's why they call it keep on feeding you more content to keep your eyes on the screen, keep watching it.
Keep bumping up those ad numbers.
Right.
That's more or less what it boils down to. But I couldn't believe that I just watched that one video and then everything was Barbie racing. It's like, what happened?
Maybe whatever else you're watching, they don't want you to watch.
That could be too.
And maybe they're just trying to feed you something completely different, so you stay off that path that you were on.
Either way, if you want to watch some funny shit, go out there and watch Barbie Jeep Racing. It is hilarious.
My number one thing I have on there is actually how I got to Barbie Jeep Racing.
Okay. Oh, yeah, fill me in on this. I want to know.
So you remember how we were talking about the injuries, people getting over injuries? So it's basically kind of started around there. This is just like a progression over time, because my rabbit hole goes from one thing to the next that I see. Like basically, I saw the racing. I was watching racing stuff. Then I saw the guy getting injured by going through the barrier.
Yeah, Romain Grosjean.
Yeah, watching Romain Grosjean.
Jedi, he's all right. I believe he finished second in the Long Beach Grand Prix a couple of, probably about a month ago now.
Nice. Still going?
IndyCar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's...
So basically, after that point, I got into watching dirt racing stuff. So
I don't know. I mean, I just can't get into dirt racing.
well, my uncle's brother was a dirt race driver, so I've actually been to a couple of them out in Ohio on I think it was Route 11 track. But basically, they're just going around really fast, sliding on the dirt and mud and stuff like that. It's very entertaining to me. But at some point, it went from going around the dirt track racing to people riding dirt bikes down hills. So now I'm watching people go down hills on dirt bikes, and then I saw Barbie Jeep racing. I'm like, what the hell is Barbie Jeep racing? So at that point, I had no choice.
Right, yeah, but I mean, I would venture to say that in your mind, you thought that you're going to see like some souped up like big wheels or something.
Right, yeah. I thought I'd see something like that, but
not what happened.
That is not what Barbie Jeep racing is.
Woo!
So I say Barbie Jeep racing. I mean, I don't have a choice. I do not personally have a choice but to click on Barbie Jeep racing. And what I saw was basically humans trying to murder themselves going down a hill.
I would actually call it organized insanity.
Yes, yes. And this is apparently a very popular thing because there are hundreds and hundreds of people.
I mean, the one you sent me, there had to have been over 1,000 people there.
Oh yeah, there was
over
definitely
1,000, and maybe even more than that.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of people at these events.
I mean, they gave $5,000 cash prize for the winner of the topless uphill climb race.
So I mean, and they did have a timer. They were timing people going down the hill to get across the line. Granted, most of the people didn't finish on the car because normally they really just wreck and just hurt them. Well, they don't really get hurt. I mean, I'm sure people do get hurt. They aren't doing it.
Yeah.
But they basically go face first into the mud. The car flips over them. They go sliding on the ground for about 10 feet, and then they end up dragging their car across the finish line.
Yeah, that sounds about like it.
And some of those wrecks are way more fantastic than the other wrecks, too.
And it should be noted that they are, I saw like a lot of them wear like, pretty much all of them were wearing helmets, but a lot of them were wearing like pads and everything too.
Well, I mean, I think they know what's going to happen.
They're obviously seasoned veterans of the Barbie Jeep racing league.
That's your claim to fame. I'm a Barbie Jeep racer.
Hey man, whatever works for you.
Hold my beer, I'm going down this hill. That's how it started. That's how it all started.
Oh,
hold my beer, I'm going down this hill on this here Barbie truck.
No.
And we're gonna.
It's like, hey kid, let me borrow your Jeep.
Yeah, I bet that kid got that Jeep back with no wheels on it.
Yeah. The first. Actually, I wonder who the first one to realize that. Hey, we probably better take the batteries out of these things.
Yeah.
Whap! Someone got smacked in the back of the head with it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my story on how I got to Barbie Jeep racing.
Barbie Jeep racing. So, like I said, if you want a good laugh, there you go. There's a good search for you.
Yeah.
And if you do actually take us up on that, let us know down in the comments what your favorite Barbie Jeep racing video is.
That's great. And also,
because there are apparently a lot of them.
Tell us where your rabbit hole leads. Tell us where your Barbie Jeep racing started and where it goes from there. Because if it can get any more fantastic than Barbie Jeep racing, I would like to know because I would like to watch it.
Fair enough. So anyway, that's the basic concept for this week. We'll just call them YouTube rabbit holes, but obviously, any video platform,
right?
And we'll just go from there. So.
I mean, if you found us on a rabbit hole, I'd like to find out how you found us.
Yeah, what were you searching?
2 idiots sitting on chairs? Is that what you were searching?
2 bumps on the log. All right, now I mean, I really, personally, I don't, search for a lot of stuff on YouTube. So I have one,
Okay.
but I believe you have a lot more than me. So I'll defer to you.
So on.
Get us started here.
Let's see what the next one I have here. Basically, okay, so you're searching around on YouTube and you see on the side, you see somebody, for example, getting hurt, like falling down or something like that. So obviously, any normal human being is going to click the video because watching people get hurt is funny. As long as they don't get mortally wounded, you know what I mean? I'm okay with watching people get hurt.
It's I'll just go ahead and say it's not my favorite thing, just because I've been injured so many times. I know the pain and suffering.
So you feel the pain of people getting hurt.
No. I don't want to be involved.
All right. So, anyways, you go from watching one video of somebody getting hurt to these fail compilations, which are extremely popular on YouTube.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of these.
So you're going from one person getting hurt to watching multiple people getting either hurt or looking like idiots on the internet.
Looking like idiots, yeah, that's a fair assessment, I'd say.
I think it makes people feel better about themselves to watch other people fail.
Yeah. Human nature.
So, and then from there, I had like a separation right here. So there was either people, basically people being awesome videos. So you go from watching fails, right, and then it tears off, and then you go to see people doing amazing feats of strength or agility or intelligence.
Okay, now I can get into this.
Okay, so so I branched off from people getting hurt and destroying themselves to seeing a little bit more positive videos of people succeeding.
Okay, let me back up. When I say the I don't want to see the people getting hurt, I'm talking like you can see like a Joe Namath style injury from Monday Night Football back in the day where his legs kind of fucking flopping around and shit.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to watch those kind of videos.
Yes.
But I am not a fan of seeing blood or broken bones or any of that stuff. I mean, I just generally like to see people maybe just fall down and concuss themselves slightly. I don't know.
Right. I mean, that's. But you don't even know if they concuss themselves. They just fell down at that point in time.
Right. You don't really see the end result.
I'm talking about like, you can tell like, oh yeah, they.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people that can watch that kind of stuff.
I guarantee you there are.
You do? I mean,
guarantee it.
I don't even like watching medical videos.
I mean, I'm not saying there's probably a bunch. I'm not saying it's a high percentage of the population.
Right.
But I guarantee you that there are some people that get off on that.
Yeah, I'm not a gruesome injury type person. I can't watch if I see it. Probably if I do see somebody with a broken bone, I'd probably stop watching that video.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Because I can't go that far down.
So anyway, we were talking about like feats of awesomeness or something.
Right, feats of awesomeness. There's I kind of branched out from fail. And it's probably because people make the same videos, basically just compilation videos of certain things. So there's people failing, people succeeding, and then there was kind of like a separation between you can choose to watch people being awesome, or you can choose car accidents. So you go from people to failing, and then you get to choose between people being awesome and car accidents.
Car accidents, huh?
Right.
Have I told the story of the car accident that happened outside the shop on the podcast yet?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Ooh. Should I tell it?
Is it a gruesome video or?
Well, it's not a video. It's a story.
Or gruesome? Is it a gruesome?
It's a story that I witnessed.
I don't know. You already teased it. You might as well say it now.
All right, yeah, let's go. All right. So, I was at work, and at this point in time, this was literally like less than half a mile from my house and everything. So the way that the roads are at this particular place that I was working at is there's like a main highway. They always call them like snow emergency routes. So it's a fairly large thoroughfare. And there was a, more of a back road that came out, stop sign. There's no like traffic light or anything. No stop sign on the highway, we'll just say, at this particular intersection. There was a car that was turning onto the back road from the highway. Meanwhile, it wasn't a full-size dump truck. It was a smaller dump truck, probably like a Ford, 450 or 550
right.
or something like that. Came up, I guess saw him at the last minute, and this was right when cell phones started being a thing.
Right.
Clipped them, turned their car into oncoming traffic, and the speed limit on this road should be noted as like 50, but I mean most people go about 60.
Right.
And clipped them on, and hit that car, and I was actually, standing there talking to the other guy that I worked with, and we were actually looking at the intersection when all of this transpired.
Right.
And needless to say is when that car, I believe it was a 1987 Ford Thunderbird, made contact with probably about a 2012, 2013 Chrysler 300. It was like the things exploded, and there were car parts flying through the air, and it literally sounded like a major explosion, almost like a device went off.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're standing there watching it, and you just see all this stuff flying through the air, flying through the air, flying through the air, and then start landing in our parking lot and everything. We found a headlight probably about 350 feet away from where the accident happened.
That's a pretty big collision.
It was nasty. They shut the road down. They airlifted the guy that was in the Ford Thunderbird out of there. And I always remember this because I looked over at the guy I worked with. I was like, someone's fucking dead.
Right. And
he was like, I ain't going up there. I did walk up there.
Right.
The one guy in the Thunderbird was all fucked up. Like,
yeah, I got you.
All fucked up.
Did you ever follow up to see what happened to him?
He survived.
Okay.
But he's all fucked up because lawyers came.
Who do you think was at fault?
Who do I think was at fault? The dump truck.
The dump truck was?
Yeah, it had to be. Because, like I said, he was, I guess, saw him at the last second, tried to go around him, and turned him into the oncoming lane. You got to blame that on the dump truck. The dump truck went down into this field, and like I said, turned the car. The Chrysler hit the Ford, and actually, when the Ford came to rest, it was also down on the field on the other side of the road from where it got hit. Right. So I mean, the inertia on that, and I mean, like I said, we were finding car parts 350 feet away. And I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was like a meteor shower of car parts coming through the air. And we were just like...
Slow motion? There was a slow motion
Yeah, it kind of was like that a little bit.
Right.
And then as soon as all that got done, I turned to the guy I work with, I was like, someone's fucking dead.
Right. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my interesting car wreck story.
So basically...
it should be noted. I don't think anyone died.
Right. No.
So I was wrong.
Right. So going from basically car accidents, I started watching people doing drugs. And there is some pretty funny ones. I think it was... they had like... It's like a meme type thing where it's like Oblivion NPCs, and if you don't know, Oblivion's a video game. And then it just kind of shows like people doing odd things while doing just regular jobs, or for example, like somebody pumping gas and can't stand upright and like doing a whole lean over and smacking their face on the car and trying to do a dance, trying to stand up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Baltimore nod.
Yeah. I wonder if every city has a nod. If they have their own nod, you think?
I don't know.
No, probably not.
Let us know down in the comments below if that's a thing. I have seen some of these videos, not necessarily on that front, but there's like a couple channels out there that they record themselves tripping on like acid and mushrooms.
Right.
And
yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you get there? How did you get there from?
It was one of those things that just randomly popped up on my feed. I was like,
so there's nothing.
I forget what the title was, but it was blatantly obvious that they were recording themselves, or recording an LSD trip.
What kind of video were you watching for that to pop up on the feed?
Honestly, I don't remember. It just popped up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was. It was.
You were watching a video on like mushrooms, or?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, like I said, that's why I can't really call that down a rabbit hole. But I mean, I did have to like just click on it and just be like, and they're like showing you the acid and record themselves. You
would think that would definitely be illegal, or on YouTube, or at least be removed, because I'm pretty sure you can't just drink. I mean, maybe you can. Maybe you can just drink or do drugs. I don't know.
Well, I think it's under the guise of educational content.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Don't know how that works out. But
I guess you can do whatever you want on educational content.
Either way, I was like, is this really a thing?
Right.
And then I saw how many subscribers they had, and I was just really depressed.
Well, I mean, how long have they been doing it? So sometimes it takes years and years to actually build up an audience.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like, man, they're making money doing this. Yeah. It's the world we live in.
So basically, I went from people on drugs to watching cringe TikTok videos. Basically, video compilations of people on TikTok doing cringe things, and you know what I mean by cringe? By doing like
go elaborate a little bit.
Just cringe is like somebody does something and it just makes you go like that. Like,
why would you do that?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay. Can you come up with like an example, or off the top of your head?
Well, I'll give you an example of something that was cringe. I can't use that one because let me think. Well, there was this guy who with like long nails. He was very metrosexual, and he was at the White House trying to push certain agendas for the White House, and he was like,
like what? Mandatory length for fingernails?
It's so cringe that, I mean, I can't explain it. I really can't. Basically, if you just want to watch these things, just watch memes of libs of TikTok. Basically, that whole famous thing, and so that's how I kind of started finding that too. Did you do one of yours yet, or?
I mean, before we even move on to anything else, I did want to ask you: have you ever seen a picture of that person that has I don't know if they still do, the Guinness World Record for the longest fingernails?
I did not look. I have not seen that.
It's crazy. It looks like what's a good way to describe it?
I would imagine that you can't do very much with.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got all these like big curlies coming off their hands. I mean, it's like a deformed Wolverine kind of looking thing.
Yeah, that's if your claim to fame is the longest fingernails in the world, where it makes you basically Potato.
Yeah, I mean they got strange world records.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a world record for everything nowadays. Get your act together, people.
Stop encouraging people to be useless.
That's a good point. All right, so like I said, the one and only one that I can think of is, obviously I've been off work here for seems like 6 months now.
Right.
Luckily, I'm going back here tomorrow, actually. But so in my time after I started getting used to the hand and everything back, I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do with all this free time? So I'm like, and I enjoy cooking.
Right.
Food is good. So I started watching cooking, recipe kind of shows and everything.
Right.
On the YouTube. So I mean, start out, all pretty good, everything. Then I come across this guy named Uncle Roger. If you don't know the premise of Uncle Roger, go, check him out and then come back. He's basically I think he's Malaysian. I could be wrong, but he's of Pacific descent.
Right.
We'll say, and he's actually a comedian, the actual guy, and
Okay.
the whole Uncle Roger thing. It's a total act. But,
Okay.
I mean, it's he nailed it. He nailed it. It started off with I watched him review famous chefs making egg fried rice. That's is basically claim to fame.
Right.
So I watched a bunch of them videos because I mean he's really funny. Go check him out. I thought it was funny anyway.
I don't think
It was. I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. If one of us said it, we would be called blatantly, overtly racist. But
I just have to do the same thing just as a redneck. You know what I mean?
good idea. So, anyway, it moved on from there, and then it got into these smaller food challenge videos. So it's basically have you ever been to if you can a restaurant where they have something where if you can eat this, you get the meal for free.
Right.
Kind of I mean, back in the day, it used to be a 72-ounce steak or something, or whatever it was.
I would believe that they probably had to step that up because nowadays the internet's around and somebody that can eat a lot sees that and be like, I want to go do that. I can do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, apparently that's a whole thing. Actually, a decent amount of different channels are doing that.
Right.
So it was a lot more than I was expecting. It's not like you're watching the same 2 or 3 people doing it. So anyway, then that morphs into these competitive eaters.
Right.
The one that particularly sticks in my mind is this Matt Stoney guy, which I mean, he used to be I guess a professional competitive eater.
Right.
And I mean, there's obviously a couple other ones, but they're just sitting down and eating 15 pounds of food at one time.
Right.
And for the first couple of times I was watching, I'm like, there's no way you can eat that much food. It's impossible. I'm like, it's impossible. I'm just sitting there, I'm waiting for them to fail and everything. So, yeah, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, this all started with me finding Hot Wings on the internet.
Okay, so it's the guy.
It started with Hot Wings, that interview show where they eat the hot spicy wings,
right?
And then it turned into cooking shows, and then it turned into eating challenges, and then it turned into these guys just eating 15 pounds of food.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the Hot Wings interviews.
I think those guys. I mean, whoever came up with that is a genius.
Shaq's the best one.
If you really want to get truth out of people, throw something spicy in their mouth.
That and he actually does, like, most interviewers don't actually do any kind of research, so he asks decent questions.
Yeah. In fact, he gets told that all the time on the show. He's like, man, how do you do that?
Because you would think that most famous people are famous for specific things, and they keep getting asked the same exact questions over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they're basically just tired of it. You know what I mean? So they get a different question. They probably kind of shocks them out of their
right. On top of that, a lot of them are about personal things in their life,
right?
That they think that other people don't know. That this guy, somehow figured out, or I guess by talking to somebody, somebody involved in the story, probably.
Okay.
I would assume. Yeah. But either way, it's good. Shout out Hot Wings. So I mean that's basically the one that I can think of. Like I said, I don't search. My YouTube, or video is I'm looking for one particular thing. As soon as I find the answer to that thing, I may watch 2 videos on it, but then anything else related to that, I'm done with.
Right.
So,
for my next 2, actually, I kind of wanted to go down and see where things would take me. So I turned my VPN on, and I went on to YouTube as not a user, just as a blank kind of slate. Basically, I'm just a random user on YouTube that's not logged in. So I went
so
down.
This is more of an experiment.
Yes, so I went down and experimental on these.
This should be interesting.
The first one I did, I was just basic. Just basically, I just clicked on the first video on each one. So the first video on it was animals that save people's lives. So I clicked on animals that save people's lives. I didn't watch the video. I just paused it, and then I clicked on the next video. And then the next video was beautiful moments in sports. Was the next video that was on the top of the list.
Was that one of our videos?
No. We're not quite there yet. These are generally
I titled a video similar to that.
Well, the number 1 feed video generally has over 10 million views per. So
that's true.
And then the next video that was on the top of the list was a Mr. Beast video where there's 100 people in a circle, and the last one to leave the circle wins. So.
Was that like one of those bathroom challenges where you got to put your hand on the cars?
No, it was just people standing in a circle in a field. It had 138 million views, so.
Yeah. I mean, say what you want about the guy. He figured out the algorithm.
Yeah. Then I don't know who this guy was. It was Colin. I think I scribbled this. Colin Mulig or something like that. I don't even know what it was. It didn't seem that interesting to me regardless, but it was the top one on the list. So I paused it and then moved to the next top video, which was a guy named Carter Shore. I have no idea who that is. So it didn't look interesting to me. I paused it and moved on to the next one. And then the next top one was trick shot videos. So those are pretty entertaining. Trick shot videos is different. Throw it over the house and into the basketball hoop, and basically that led to Dude Perfect, which was the next top video. And I think a lot of people know Dude Perfect. It's basically just these guys, a group of guys that just try to throw basketballs as far as they can over buildings, off walls, and kick footballs from one place to another and try to make it landing. I imagine they probably spend hours and hours trying to throw basketballs and kick footballs into certain spots to make amazing shots.
Yeah, I would have to assume so.
Which they would probably have to have some kind of at least physical talent to be able to do some of these things as well. And then from Dude Perfect, the next top one was a Minecraft gaming video. And from that point on, I could not get off Minecraft gaming videos. There was always, no matter how many times you moved from video to video to video to video, it constantly kept me on Minecraft gaming videos. And I was stuck on Minecraft. That was where it ended. Moving from
animals saving people.
Yes, from moving from animals saving people's lives to Minecraft videos.
I believe that Minecraft is like the most viewed search on YouTube.
I mean, I can't get into it.
I believe they just recently got over 1 trillion views on all the total Minecraft videos.
Okay.
I do remember hearing that.
Basically, I'm going to imagine that any random place you move to is going to if Minecraft videos are the most viewed videos on YouTube, then it's always going to lead to Minecraft videos.
Well, I mean, I would say the most viewed genre.
Okay.
I mean, actually, subgenre would probably be a better way, because I mean, Minecraft's still a game, so
right.
that would fall into gaming videos. But subgenre, Minecraft videos.
Gotcha.
1 trillion views strong.
So I would have to do a whole lot more experimentation to make that a true fact that everything you start at always leads to Minecraft gaming videos. But that's where I started at. Animals saving people's lives. Going from Beautiful Moments of Sports, Mr. Beast, a couple random YouTubers, Trick Shots, Dude Perfect, Minecraft.
There we go. Well, didn't you say you did this twice?
I did this twice, and this time I did it in a political way.
Okay.
So I looked up gun control.
Did you look anything up on the first one? Or did you just pick the first video?
The first video when I opened up YouTube, it was one of the first videos that I saw.
Okay, so you didn't actually search anything the first
time?
time?
Nope, I did not search anything.
Okay.
This time I searched something. I searched gun control. And this might have been kind of like biased towards the way that I do things, but one of the top videos was Steven Crowder where he goes up and interviews people and says gun control is nonsense, or prove to me why it's not. I can't remember exactly what the... So basically it went from Steven Crowder, gun control is nonsense. Then it went from Jordan Peterson interview. You know who Jordan Peterson is, right? All right. And then it moved from Jordan Peterson.
He kind of talks like Kermit the Frog.
Right. He's a clinical psychologist, I believe. And then the next, it moved me to Ben Shapiro. And then from Ben Shapiro, it sent me down 2 different paths of 2 different people. So I was basically looking for, on the feed, because the feed generally, if I had a Steven Crowder video, the next video would be Steven Crowder. Mm-hmm. So I was basically looking for videos that sent me to other people.
Gotcha.
So there was 2 different people off the Ben Shapiro feed. One was Matt Walsh, who I believe also works with Ben Shapiro on he's basically part of the same company. And the other person that it sent me to was Joe Rogan. So I think that if you go to Joe Rogan, it's always going to lead you on the same path to more and more Joe Rogan videos, so I decided not to take that path.
Okay.
So I took the Matt Walsh path to see where that would send me. And from Matt Walsh, it sent me to Larry Elder. And I don't know if you know who Larry Elder was, but he ran for governor for California in the special election. And he ended up losing. He's a Republican.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's ringing a bell now.
Which, by the way, I watched...
I mean, if you just told me the name, I'd be like...
Right. Yeah, by the way, I'm a fan of Larry Elder. The story about him and his father is basically an amazing story in my personal opinion. And I don't want to get into it now, but it is a pretty amazing video. He wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar. So.
From Larry Elder, it sent me to one of my favorite YouTubers, Tim Pool. And then from Tim Pool, it sent me to Michael Knowles. And then from Michael Knowles, it sent me, in my personal opinion, to the end-all, be-all of fact and reality and history, Thomas Sowell.
Who?
Thomas Sowell. You don't know who Thomas Sowell is?
No.
I'm a big fan. He's a historian. His takes are very well thought out, and he's written a lot. And he basically, if you haven't heard Thomas Sowell speak or read one of his books, I really do recommend it. It teaches you a lot about history and how that certain parts of history that aren't printed in general history books that you might read or learn from in school.
So basically, the part of the history that got left out of the books.
Correct.
Because it didn't agree with the victor's narrative.
Right. So that is personally why I'm a big fan of Thomas Sowell.
Maybe I'll look into checking some of his stuff out. So on that one, you went from gun control.
Right. So basically on that one...
Do you remember what the video of that guy was about? Was it about gun control, or was it about...
Steven Crowder?
No. The last guy. Was
Oh,
about
Thomas
something
Sowell?
totally different than gun control.
I believe it was, but I don't 100% remember what the video was about. But I was basically going down the path of the people, not specifically what they were talking about. So basically, it went from, I looked up gun control.
Off of that list on that time, how many of those videos that you watched out of that, or even clicked on, had anything to do about gun control? Would you say?
Ooh. I would believe that probably none of them.
Except for the first one.
Except for the first one. And basically, I wasn't really focused on the gun control object after I looked it up the first time.
But that is also what you started your search with.
Right. So that's all right. Well, maybe my flawed ability to do that research was a little bit.
I mean, you probably weren't expecting that question either.
Right.
Because, like you said, you had the idea with the people.
Right. So yeah, once I found that, I was going to go stick with the people and see what kind of rabbit hole it would take me down. But I am glad that it actually got me to one of my favorite historians.
But that's technically not a rabbit hole at that point in time. That's a human hole.
Right. Well, I don't want to be in any of these humans' holes.
Let's throw it in a ditch. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting experiment. I think we just came up with a new game show.
Is it a game show? I don't know how it would work. Are we going to get points? How are we going to get points? You have to have points in a game show.
Work in progress. We'll figure it out. Well, we'll just go ahead and let it there. Bangcast, episode 22, we talked about YouTube rabbit holes, other video rabbit holes. How what you search for is not what you normally end up with after you click off the first video. Other similar ideas and stuff. So if you found this bit of content enjoyable, remember to like, share,
and subscribe, and hit a bell button.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course Gregor Guy.
My name is Casey.
And by the way, happy birthday, Casey.
Thank you.
Yo, what the fuck?
Well, you're right behind me, fucker.
Yeah, I know. For everyone out there watching, enjoy the rest of your week.